All right, so I'm telling you off the rip right now. We all not getting a formal introduction at all. This is the first ever Culture Quickie. I'm Jordan Nahisi. Y'all already know who that is.
Right, right. And you got your favorite menace, Edge's Throko. What is up, people? We're back at you with a culture quickie.
You feel me? Um, just it's been a lot happening in wrestling lately, and we're not gonna waste any time. So Mo, what's up? Like, what we talking about? What's first on the agenda right
We're going to
now?
start off white hot with the news breaking that Roman Reigns and Logan Paul are going to verse each other at Crown Jewel. And
Mm,
it's sparking up a lot of controversy here. I think a
mm,
lot of people are happy about it.
yeah.
I want to get your take, Jordan, first on what do you think about, Logan Paul and
So
Roman Reigns?
So I think this is a big money match. Let's start there. I think you're taking someone who is the face of WWE in Roman Reigns, who's having the absolute run of a lifetime, as we previously discussed on Culture 316. If y'all haven't heard the latest episode, you should. He the one. He's having the run of a lifetime, number one in the PWI 500. You have Logan Paul, and no introduction is really needed. The man is arguably one of the biggest names in entertainment through what he's done on YouTube, through his podcast, through the stuff that he's been able to accomplish via the NFT world, and now his entrance into WWE, having some amazing performances at some very big shows, mentioning WrestleMania, mentioning SummerSlam. He's on fire right now. I think both of them are at the top of their game. The fact that Crown Jewel is the place where this is taking place, I think it's perfect because Crown Jewel, very much like Clash of the Castle, it's meant to be an international show with WrestleMania production quality. So if that's the case, if you want a WrestleMania esque show without necessarily putting a you know Roman in there with like a Big E or a Cody Rhodes. I feel like Logan Paul is just the next most logical step. I mean, he's a big name in entertainment. I think that they're going to not only produce a good match, but have a great buildup. I mean, we've already been seeing it with Roman popping up on the Impulsive podcast, Logan popping up on SmackDown the following day, and then next thing you know, they're in Vegas having a press conference for this match. I think it's big money. I love the press conference. It was entertaining on both sides. Roman had some zingers. Logan had some zingers. I'm looking forward to the match. I think that it's great for the WWE. I think it's going to be a good match for the show. What about you? What is your take on it?
I honestly was in love with the idea immediately because I feel like Roman Reigns has went through so many people. So
Mm-hmm.
it's just like, all right, after Drew and the way Drew lost and how he kind of seemingly doesn't really give much of a fuck about
Yeah.
reclaiming that title, who else were you going to put against Roman Reigns for, I don't want to consider this show like a WrestleMania, but it is one of the shows where they try to keep it very star-studded, if you will. So
Mm-hmm.
it's just like, again, we lost Cody Rhodes. That definitely would have been the option to go with in this situation, but we don't really have that. And I'm
Very
pretty
true.
sure other stars just probably turned down the offer that they reached out to. Logan Paul's
Mm-hmm.
right there. I mean, he's been white hot since WrestleMania. Everyone loves his matches. They love his presentation. You need someone that is an overwhelmingly, big baby face, and that was
Yeah.
the role I believe we last saw him in.
Mm-hmm.
So why not just run with it? I don't really
Mm-hmm.
see what's the conflict here. I mean, he is not gonna be in this role for too long. It's kind of one of those shows where they pump it out, it's out of the system, but it doesn't play a role with the timeline of the other pay-per-views. Like it's kind
Yeah.
of just like an extra, if you will. So
Yeah.
I feel like everyone kind of needs to calm down about having Logan Paul interjected, because I mean, I get it, they want to see other stars, but you also don't want to rush this. I feel like that's not the way Hunter likes to normally move, but in this
Yeah.
situation where you're trying to throw in stars on, like a last minute basis, it's like, who else would you want to plug in that is not really a risk if they lose?
Very true.
Logan could afford to lose, you know? He could afford it. He's not
Mm-hmm.
really, I'm not saying he's a nobody. He definitely is a somebody. He definitely established himself, but if he loses, you're still going to respect him because he's a rookie. At the end of the
Yeah.
day, he's a very good rookie, but, you know, he's a rookie at the end of the day. Get
that.
him out the way. Let everyone have this really fun match. I'm pretty sure they're gonna get over it once they see how good it is. And just let it be. Like, it's no harm, no foul.
Yeah, I agree with that sentiment. And on top of that, just like Hunter is very very smart for building off of the pre-existing momentum. Like bro was on the podcast, Logan was talking that talk, after the whole appearance. It's like, okay, we got something here. Let's just go with it. And it's okay. Wrestling fans, it's okay to have fun wrestling matches. Not everything has to be a 60-minute Kenny Omega versus Okada match. Not everything has to be a 90-minute soap opera drama. It doesn't have to be all that. It could be fun. It could be cute. It could be a 15-minute, 20-minute big money draw and done. It's okay. It's okay. It's not the end of the world. It's one show. It's one show in Saudi Arabia. It's okay. Just go with it. But that's all I really had to say about that. I don't know if you had anything else on your mind.
No, you said it just fine. Because I mean, again, it's one of those shows where like I don't think anyone talks about the Saudi shows after they happen. It's like
Yeah.
it literally just, I can't even remember the last Saudi show.
Yeah,
I
same.
can't.
Really.
So just
Not for
get
real.
over it because you're gonna forget about it anyways.
Yeah.
Next.
That's a fact. But going on to the next thing. So Adweek has reported that Warner Discovery is looking to merge with NBC Universal. Now, for those of you who are not aware of what's going on in the television world, um, Warner Media has merged with Discovery for to create Warner Discovery. And there were talks couple like some weeks, some months ago about how this would affect the relationship between Warner Media and AEW. Um, but it seems that the network is really, really high on the show. It is their highest performing show on, multiple networks. They have been performing outperforming pretty much all of cable on a Wednesday night with Dynamite. Um, However, if they look to merge with NBC Universal, they are going literally head to head with WWE. For those of you who don't know, WWE has a multitude of deals with NBC Universal. They have, for starters, the 5-year $1 billion TV rights deal for Raw. They have the alleged $1 billion deal for the WWE network with Peacock. They have the deal for NXT on USA. They also have the deal with A&E. A&E falls under the USA Network banner, or the NBC Universal banner, I should say. So it's very, very interesting. Obviously, they said that talks of this wouldn't be able to happen until 2024. But just based off of face value, what do you think about this news? How do you think this is going to affect both companies and how the media and their relationships with these networks, if you will?
Honestly, thanks. I don't know if it's gonna put them in a situation where they're gonna be fighting over the rights to them or not, or they're going to have to work together. Like
Mm.
I don't really know what you do in this situation as a boss. Like I honestly don't know what I would do in this situation. What would you?
I so here's my thing, right? Like if you're merging, I think that you want to get maximum profit from every stream possible. So I don't think if we see a merger between Warner Discovery and WWE, you know, along partnered with NBC Universal, um I would expect more crossovers than competition. Because when it comes to Raw on Monday nights, they're outperforming everyone in the cable world. When it comes to Dynamite on Wednesday nights, they're outperforming everyone in the cable world. So there's no reason to get rid of either, right? Like, it's no reason to be like, oh, well, this one's underperforming and this one's overperforming. It's just like they're both doing damage on their respective nights. So it makes sense to just keep both of them in a portfolio and just throw both of them in bag and just be like, can we make more money on Monday nights? Can we make more money on Wednesday nights? Let's see if we can get a John Cena on a Dynamite. Let's see if we can get a Kenny Omega on a Monday night.
Oh, that
Let's
sounds
see
offensive.
if
John Cena on Dynamite. Oh my
John
God,
Cena.
Vince will lose his shit.
Oh,
Okay,
Vince would.
that's his other baby. That's his other son or grandson besides fucking Taker. Why
That's a
he would have a
fact.
stroke?
He would
I tell you.
literally he would literally come back from his retirement and being like, y'all can keep all these whatever's about the scan. I'm coming back. And
He
Cena
gonna
is
come
not
in and
going to
blow both
Wednesday.
his quads talking shit.
Right. Pop tearing both his damn quads like he did in the Rumble in '05. But nah, if I'm AEW or WWE, I wouldn't necessarily be concerned, but I do think that because wrestling has proven to be such a valuable commodity, especially during the pandemic, that I don't think that anyone would lose. I don't think that AEW would be told to stop or they would get bought out. I don't think that WWE is going to be told to stop either. I think it's just let's just figure out a way to make more money with both of these companies under our portfolio. So that was really all I had to say about that. But it is going to be very very interesting in 2023 when AEW's deal is up and then they want to sign an extension. Are they going to give them that extension? For how much money are they going to give them that extension, especially if they're talking about possibly merging in 2024 as far as like the networks. So I think that's going to be one of the biggest things is how are these merger negotiation discussions going to affect AEW's new media rights partnership deal, which is probably going to be in 2023. You know what
Right.
I'm saying? So, but moving
Let's see
on,
what's
what else we
happening.
talking? What else we talking about?
Well, I found that third topic we were supposed to be talking about, and that was when Ringside News reported that Wardlow wants to bring AEW back to their day one vibe.
Oh yeah.
Yep. Uh, you want to go first on this one, or you want me to deal with this
Go. I
one?
want you to go.
All
And where
right.
your mic at?
It's right here. I'm sorry. It's
You good.
heavy. I'm like holding this
I
shit.
feel you.
Um, but all right. So apparently, with the fallout that had happened with AEW, Warlow decided that he wanted to get up on an interview and talk about how AEW in the beginning stages was more like a family. Everyone was in it together. And with this whole fallout, a lot has happened. We definitely see a
Mm-hmm.
lot of separations, a lot of parting, and he wants to get it back to the way that it was before. Honestly, when I was reading this article, I was thinking to myself, it was bound to happen regardless. With
Yeah.
any company that you go to, it's always gonna be lit in the beginning, but eventually there's always gonna be like a hierarchy and the politic is gonna start and you're gonna see who has pull and who doesn't have pull. And it's gonna cause friction because eventually all those people that came all the way out to AEW because they thought they were gonna get better and they're gonna get, a push automatically just because they're underneath Tony Khan and they see what he did for others and whatever, you're gonna see like eventually you're probably not gonna be that guy in this company either. You know what I mean? Like it's bound to happen.
Yeah.
However, another thing I was thinking about while I was reading this is just that, well, this should be looked at as a good thing. It should be a good thing that some of these people are out of the way
Yeah.
and that some people are suspended, the people that were at the top of the food chain that were constantly being pushed and whatnot. This might bring more harmony to the company and competition at the same time, due to the fact that now, since all those people who were in front of our faces are kind of pushed off to the side temporarily, now it's going to give everyone else an opportunity to like fight for that camera time that they weren't getting.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm actually kind of excited to see where this goes and if it is going to bring more harmony into the locker room now that certain faces aren't going to be around, because we don't really know who the bad seeds are. I have what my assumptions are, because the locker room did have a completely different vibe back in 2019 to 2020, maybe even 2021, but 2022 has been a shit show since.
Yeah.
You
That's
know
a
what I
fact.
mean? So we could definitely see how things are going to play out. But I feel like in terms of this whole harmony thing that he's looking for, it's never going to be the same as before. It's not. It's not. People are going to step over the next person to try to get on screen, and it's like kind of your job. Like it's
Mm-hmm.
kind of like everyone's out for their own. So yeah, that's what I think about it. What about you?
Oh, I think we should start here. The honeymoon is over.
Yeah.
That period in 20 let's if we talk about what AEW was in 2019 to what AEW is now, it's two completely different companies, right? Like AEW, All Elite Wrestling has had the privilege of having more money and TV deals, and you know what I mean? And now you have an expanded roster with the acquisition of Ring of Honor. You have more championships. There's more moving parts than there were in 2019. And because of that, it's naturally just going to be different than it was in 2019. And that's just the way that it is. And that's okay. Change isn't always necessarily a bad thing. Now, as it pertains to, getting back to the day one vibe of, being a company centric company as opposed to it being star driven, I don't, you know, I don't know. I don't know how to feel about that because when you look at sports and entertainment, not sports entertainment, but sports and entertainment, everything is star driven. You look at the NBA, ticket sales are higher when Steph Curry is in town, when LeBron James is in town, when Kevin Durant is in town. You go to the movies, the movies that have, the biggest box office buzz are the ones with the big actors. When you go into music, the festivals and the award shows that have all the big names on it tend to get bigger ratings. It's always going to be a star driven world. So, the elite are out right now. CM Punk is out right now, via the suspension, injuries, investigations, all that stuff. And that's all well and good. And I'm pretty sure that, AEW may be experiencing a little bit of a sugar rush because I think 2 weeks after they all got suspended, they got their highest rating of the year of 1.17. And so I think that that's something that they're going to be very, very proud of as well. And they should. Um, but at the same time, it's not going to change the fact that at some point or another, they're going to go back to a formula of pushing the tried and true proven stars. I wouldn't be surprised if CM Punk comes back, maybe has like a little heel turn and he still gets pushed to the moon because he's a star. You know what I mean? In the context of all elite wrestling, CM Punk is a star. Same thing for Kenny Omega and the Bucks. So I'm pretty sure Wardlow has a lot of good points, and I love Wardlow as a wrestler. But do I think it's going to get back to like the day one vibe? I don't think so. You have a lot of moving parts, a lot of old relationships that have changed, a lot of things that, haven't been the same. So, it's change, it's all relative and it's just a part of the business. So that's how I feel about it.
Okay. No, I definitely 100% agree. I'm sorry, I had to tap my mic and
You're
really
good.
unmute myself. Gotta love the professionals in here, y'all. Um, no, I 1,000% agree with everything you just said with that. And I am hoping that with this, Wardlow does get the push that he was
Yeah.
looking for. I think from here on up, like everyone could literally benefit from this time period. Um,
Hmm.
I feel like we're kind of past that fallout. That we're not really past it. It's just that it's just again like a window of opportunity. Are you going to take it or not?
Right.
And that's where I just see it.
I
But
agree.
yes, moving on to our final topic.
So I think
There's
I was going to say the final topic we were talking about, I may get this wrong. You can jump in if you want to.
mhm.
Jeff Hardy has been the center of some controversy as of late, particularly as it pertains to his rehabilitation process, which, by the way, we commend him for getting help. If you have any form of addiction, any form of illness, go get help. It's available. We encourage it. Just wanted to preface all of this by saying that. But it is, rumors have been circulating that he is due to come out of rehab and to return to pro wrestling. Um, is this too soon? Is this too much? Should he just kind of chill out? What are your thoughts on this?
my first few thoughts is fuck Cokehead and fuck Matt Hardy for even entertaining the idea. It's not even me trying to be funny and all that. It's just that TMZ video literally dropped in May or June,
Mm,
right? We all sat there and watched that really sad, sickening video of Jeff Hardy, being completely inebriated. He told the stupidest lie to the police, talking about he had some type of, I don't know, like appointment or something with his brain or whatnot. I don't know. He had some like weird dialogue with the police officer, And he's been down this road too many fucking times. It was just so sad. It was a painful video to watch him just put himself in the predicament in broad daylight. It wasn't like he was even late at night. He was coming back from the club or whatnot. It was
Right.
like the middle of the week, broad daylight, and he is drunk out of his mind. And it's just like a thing where like we keep seeing his name in the news every year or every other year, and it's just sad because it's just like he's he's somebody's husband and he's
Mm.
somebody's father.
Yeah.
And unlike a lot of other people, he has the money and access to resources to help him get the help that a lot of other people don't have.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and he's been in this business for a long time. I think he was underage when he was signed into this business with his brother, if I'm not
Yeah.
mistaken. So all they know is fucking wrestling. All they
Mm.
know is wrestling, and they came in that whole era where it was just normal for everyone to be doing drugs and stuff like that. Which, to a degree, sometimes I don't blame them because you put your body on the line, and it's a very demanding schedule. You don't get a break, and they're looking for some type of vice or something to numb the pain so they could move on, move forward with the next show. And not for nothing with the boys' moveset, he's like a human fucking stuntman. Like,
Yeah.
bro, that's why we fell in love with Jeff Hardy. He was, he was a daredevil. He was doing all this type of crazy shit. It did not shock me that they at the time turned to like painkillers and alcohol. You know what I mean? And I feel like they kind of go hand in hand while he's in this business. I noticed that when he is wrestling, then he spikes on or tends to relapse in terms of his drug and or alcohol use. Lately, it's been mainly just alcohol, and I just feel like it hasn't been a long enough time. As much as I love Jeff Hardy, I would prefer him to keep his life because my heart will just break and shatter if I ever open up fucking Twitter or open up whatever news source and I see the day like, it says like Jeff Hardy passed away behind the wheel, drunk driving or whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
Or even worse, he killed somebody. Well,
Yeah.
actually, it's the opposite. The other one's worse because he did. But you know what I mean? It would
Yeah. I know what you
suck.
mean.
It would literally like because it just happened with Sunny not too long ago. She was drunk behind the wheel. She killed a old fucking man. I don't want to
Mm.
see this man behind bars for a long time, nor do I want to see him dead. I love Jeff Hardy. I care for him. I admire everything that he has done for pro wrestling. But I feel like it's selfish of not Jeff, sorry, selfish of Matt, my apologies, and selfish of Tony Khan to even entertain the idea of bringing someone back, not even like with a year of rehabilitation. You know what I
Right.
mean?
It's literally been less than a year.
It's been like a season and a half.
Yeah.
Like, let's put that into perspective. A fucking season and a half. And here's Matt Hardy entertaining the idea on a podcast about Jeff being paired up with Wardlow. I don't feel comfortable with that. I do not feel comfortable. I would feel sick.
Mm.
I feel sick and just reading that. Because just like, do you not care for your brother? Like, is he just a fucking like, a circus monkey act for you?
Right.
Like, I would
I,
prioritize him being at the best possible game for himself, for his wife, for his daughters. I think he has one or two, if I'm not mistaken. Like, I want to see Jeff around for a long time, but I want to see Jeff at the greatest capacity. And if that
mm.
means he don't wrestle ever again, I'm content with that because it's to a
Right.
point where it's just like, how many other times are we gonna go through this?
Right.
Because everyone thought that when he came back to AEW, when he pulled that alleged stunt, with WWE, claiming that, he had an addiction and then he kind of jumped ships and then we saw him AEW. It didn't last very long.
Mm.
It didn't. I just feel like literally when I see him back in wrestling, I get nervous. I'm like, all right, is he going to pick it up again? Is he going to pick
Yeah.
up that bottle again? Or am I going to hear he's behind the wheel again? I get nervous. I cringe now when I see him doing stunts and I see him putting his body on the line. Like, I don't get the same highs I did when I was a kid because I
Mm.
see a broken man. You know, that's just
Yeah.
my take on it. It pisses me off. I'm very pissed off. What do you think?
So I'm not gonna make my response long because I agree with essentially everything that you said. But to build on
Mm.
top of that, Jeff, if you're listening, and you may not be, bro, you've given us
If you are, I love you, Jeff.
everything. If you've given us everything, bro, for the better part of 3 decades, you've given us everything. If you being the best version of yourself means that you want to retire, bro, it's okay. you can retire. Would I would love to see you wrestle again? Absolutely. But more importantly, I just want to see you doing well and alive because, you know, like you are bigger than what you do. You are bigger than your occupation. But like for the better part of like 3 decades, bro, you've been jumping off of ladders, onto other ladders, through tables, through people, on steel steps. And it's just like, and then on top of that, you're getting older. It's like, bro, we have enough between Peacock and all the YouTube pages and everything that's available at our disposal for us to watch all the highlights and matches of you. Like you're like, bro, you don't have to give. We know how much you give to us, but it's getting to the point where once again, if you being in wrestling means that you pick up that bottle again, all it takes is one incident to change somebody else's life or your own in a negative manner, and nobody needs that. Nobody needs that. And as it pertains to Tony Khan and Matt Hardy, I don't want to put words in people's mouths or accuse people of doing anything. But if this is a matter of rushing his recovery in order to get a match or in order to get a certain result or in order to draw a certain arena, then you are just a different form of weird. Point blank, period. You have enough of a talented roster to put together amazing shows. You've been putting together amazing shows without Jeff Hardy. There's no need to bring him back in a capacity that can incapacitate him or somebody else, whether that be in the ring or outside the ring. Just leave that man alone. If he's not all together right now, leave that man alone. And if he comes back, he comes back. And if he doesn't, it's okay. It's okay. That's really all I have to say about that. But
So, do you have a take at all on how Matt, is treating this as his support system?
um, let me be very careful with my words.
If it's too controversial, you could back up from it. I completely understand.
I want to be. I have no problem giving a take. I just feel like, all right, boom. Here's my take on the Matt Hardy. I mean, here's my take on the Matt Hardy, Jeff Hardy return situation. I feel like Matt Hardy, like many other professional athletes in this world, always wants to be in a position where they can re experience the best part of their careers. It's no doubt in my mind that the best, if not one of the best moments in Matt Hardy's career was when he was paired with his brother and they were the Hardys in WWE. They were one of the best tag teams. They are one of the best tag teams of all time. They had countless classic matches. They had countless memorable moments. And I believe that when you are a professional athlete, not just a wrestler, but any athlete, you want to be able to deliver consistently again and again and again and again. And you want to relive the glory days again and again and again and again. But the glory days sometimes are just that. They're just the glory days. They're just times of the past. They're just moments that inspired others to get into your sport so that they can make the new memorable moments. I think Matt Hardy is in a position right now where he just wants to relive his glory days. He wants to relive the days in which, he was on top of the world along with Jeff, his brother, and rightfully so. It's one thing to be successful, it's another thing to be considered the best at what you do with your family. So I understand why he wants to kind of get back or get Jeff back into this because I think it's part of it is he wants to re-experience certain things that he previously experienced. I think that's my biggest take on Matt. But in the same breath, I just want to encourage him to let it go. Like if it's time, bro. Let that man relax. If you want to still be in wrestling, that's on you. But that means you have to find a way to make yourself interesting outside of this context so that you can draw money so that you continue to have a job and make money. But as far as incorporating Jeff to trying to be the 28-time world tag team champions, I don't think is it. especially if we both know that once he gets back into his world, that may cause him to lean into vices that he shouldn't be leaning into. So I think that's my take on it.
You're so kind.
Because
Because
I
I
knew
think
you
he's a
was
piece
gonna.
of
I knew
shit.
because I had to be the one to be graceful because I knew you. Fuck Matt Hardy. He's the worst.
Yeah.
So I had to be the graceful one. Um,
It's like the good angel devil
exactly on the
on the
opposite
shoulders.
shoulder. I have to be the graceful one here. So, but what is your take? I think you kind of
Um,
expressed it, but
I know I'll go into it because fuck Matt Hardy. Because okay, not for nothing. Out of the two,
see, this is what I'm talking about.
nah. Because all right, this is the way I look at it.
Mm-hmm.
Since WWE, out of the two, Jeff Hardy was always the it guy. He didn't need Matt to be relevant. He didn't need Matt to be in other storylines and mix it up
Mm-hmm.
with other people, and like he could still maintain being his own self, his own character, and he didn't
Right.
really need to reinvent because he already was the full package. Like fans is naturally gravitated towards Jeff,
Yeah.
okay? And regardless, whenever he decides to come back, he could do the same tired ass shtick over and over again, and we're still gonna love it because it's Jeff fucking Hardy.
Right.
Matt doesn't have that less to him, that charisma to him. He had no choice but to reinvent himself and become this mythical delete character, which it worked. I'm not gonna front. It
It
worked.
did.
You
It
know,
worked for a bit.
he had
Yeah.
to go to a smaller pond with Rebby and make it work, and it worked there. And then they brought it over to AEW, and it worked temporarily.
It
Now
was
it's
WWE first. It went to
WWE. Yeah,
WWE.
I forgot. I literally, that feels like a fever dream, bro. Like,
That's a
I
fact.
really forgot. I forgot that he even did that. But yeah, brought it over. Um, yes, from WWE to AEW. Thank you for that correction. And it was cool in the beginning. I'm not gonna front when he had the drone flying around and fucking with Jericho. That was good
Yeah.
shit in the
That was cute.
beginning, but it died out. Look
Yeah.
at you get tucked in.
I'm
He's
so
about to go to
cozy right
bed.
now. I'm
He's like, let
so
me wrap
cozy
this
right
shit
now.
up, bitch.
That's a fact.
Uh, I'm not gonna take too long slandering Matt. It's just that he did all that. I appreciate what he did for people like Private Party,
Mm-hmm.
and the people that he mentored. In that sense, I do respect Matt Hardy. He's much better in that role of just kind of being like a leader or being someone behind the scenes, but not so much being like the center of attention like Jeff.
Yeah.
However, like he's just someone who I think everyone saw it coming and knew that this momentum that he had going was going to die off. And
Yeah.
I feel like every time it does die off, he just turns to his brother, which pisses me off. It's like you need him to be relevant. like yo, and your brother's fucking sick. That's where it gets me mad. Cause it doesn't feel
Right.
like it's genuine that he wants to relive, the Hardy Boy days like you're saying. I mean, if it is true, it's mainly because that was where he peaked. And that is
Right.
it.
Very true.
Outside of outside of Edge, fucking knocking the Mario coins out of him left and right. With that leader controversy.
It's funnier because when you said knocking the Mario coins out of Edge, I was like, that's what Mo wants Edge to do to her
Yeah.
is knock the Mario coins out of this nigga. That's what that you yeah. But anyway, continue.
You know what I mean in this context, but yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, Edge, if you're listening, the offer is still up. But back to what I
Oh
was
my
saying.
god.
Back to what I was saying. The last time he was relevant to me in my eyes before the delete shit was that whole Edge and Lita storyline, and you should thank Lita's pussy for that because he would never have been relevant. He just wouldn't have
Wow.
been. But now she's not in the picture. Obviously, you can't call Lita back for none,
Right.
for some little star power. So now you're gonna turn to your brother, and your brother's sick. Your brother has a problem, and I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure like the support system that he has, which is his wife, and I'm pretty sure they said in a previous WWE documentary that I remember vividly, they both had drug addiction issues, which is why now I see why it's easier for him to relapse. I'm not sure if she's fully recovered, but they both were semi toxic to each other in the sense that they both were enabling each other. Unintentionally, but
Yeah.
they were enabling each other. And then you have an
Yeah.
enabling ass brother who is, again, he's delusional. He can't get booked. If he does get booked, he's a side role. He'll never be the main character like he wants to be. So he's gonna keep using his brother. That bothers me. That really bothers me because just like prioritize your brother getting better. I'm not saying that it's your responsibility to make sure that Jeff does what he's supposed to do. 'Cause at the end of the day, Jeff Hardy's a grown ass man, and
That's a
he
fact.
should have been handled this.
Right.
He should have been handled this. But an addiction is addiction, and it takes time. It does take
That's
time. I fully understand that. However, as the brother, you should you should let Jeff know that, hey, I see you doing well. I just want to see if you could keep this up and you could be consistent because you know it's so easy to relapse. Some people relapse within 6 months, some people relapse within a year, some people are straight for a year straight or two or three and they relapse again. It's so easy to slip up. I just don't think it's fair or it's smart to try to insert him within a year. I feel like that's just like that is
that's just
just
too
so
much.
like dirty. It's so
Yeah.
dirty. It's so sick to me. Like I would never in Tony Khan or in Matt Hardy's position sit down and sit across from Jeff. Even if he told me like a laundry list of all these amazing changes that he's made in the past couple months about how his life is better and he's done this and the fourth, I would listen to him. I would applaud him. But I'm like, all right, let's see if you can do this for another 3, 4 months. Let's see if you can do this for another year. I
Well,
think what?
what are you gonna say? My bad. Keep going.
No, no, go ahead, go ahead.
I was
I
gonna
could keep
say
going.
is yeah. I know you can. I was gonna say is Jeff suspended without pay?
I believe so.
That's
I feel like that
why. That's why he's trying to pressure Jeff to get back in because he wants his mans to get his coin.
he can make his points in so many other ways. He can
He
literally do a meet
can't.
and
But
greet.
like,
What the
how?
fuck?
What other? Like, what am I booking Jeff Hardy for besides a wrestling match?
I he's fucking Jeff Hardy. If Jeff Hardy came to fucking New York for a meet and greet, I would give this man all my money because
Very
it's
true.
Jeff Hardy. He's a
But
legend. Like he's so established. He's valid. He can do
he
whatever
is
he wants to
valid.
do.
However, I feel like he would get the most of his coin from actually being on TV. But that I feel like that's the reason why. Now that I think about it, is
I'm like, give
because
your brother some money. The fuck? You're both rich.
bro, this man Matt has like 8 kids.
What problem is that? Like,
Matt is
yo,
not giving nobody no coin.
he needs to
Matthew
get off of Rebby, bro. Like, get
Matthew
off of her.
Hardy. Listen, if Matthew Hardy cannot pull out, Matthew Hardy is not giving Jeff any money. That all the
He,
money is going to his kids and his 20-acre compound in West Bubble Dun, North Carolina. Okay, he is not giving Jeffrey any money. He has already enough to attend to. That man
oh
got.
my god,
You ever
that
seen
shit
that?
was
Yo, you go on Snapchat. You seen Matt's crib where he got the arcade. Then he got like baby Matt, and baby Jeff, and then baby. He got like mad kids.
weird. I remember like Rebby like just gave birth and then like a month and a
Yo,
half
how
later
many?
she was
I'm,
knocked up.
I'm about to check on how many kids do Rebby Sky, Rebby?
I think it's like 5 or 6. I don't even know. It's just too damn much.
It's way too.
Like your wife can't be
Listen,
that fun.
listen.
Like,
Let's see what's
isn't her
going
back
on.
tired? Are you tired of having
How old
swollen
is
feet, holding your back, walking around the house, Rebby? Like that's a lot. That is a
Rebby? Is
lot.
Rebby is 42. How many children? 4 children.
Also,
That's
fuck
not that
Rebby.
bad. That's not that
Fuck
bad.
Rebby. Cause I'll never forget that time where that TMZ thing happened and she made a TikTok about it. Like a goofy ass TikTok about it.
She be trifling. I'm not gonna
She
lie, even
is.
though she's from New York, but she be trifling sometimes. But
Mm-mm.
I think
Sometimes.
we're gonna say keep going.
No, 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 I'm sorry, because I could drag Rebby and Matt. I could really drag
But you
Rebby and
won't.
Matt for like the next 30 minutes. And it's supposed to be a quickie.
This is
Child, how
40
long we been
minutes.
on this spot?
This is a long, quick. All right, we're wrapping this up now. Thank you guys for watching our culture quickie that just so happened to be 40 minutes.
Thanks
Um,
to me.
it's thanks to both of us because we be spazzing. All right, but real quick before we head out, Dynamite Grand Slam is this Wednesday. I don't know if we're gonna do like any type of like online predictions. Probably like some cute for like the Instagram story, some cute for like Twitter or something like that. But we're gonna be recapping Dynamite Grand Slam on the next episode of Culture 316. So be sure to tap into that. It's the first major show in New York since like Culture came back. So this is gonna be a great, great episode. But anyway, thank you guys
Maybe
so much for
chocolate.
tapping in and tuning in with us, and we'll see you guys uh next time. But thank you for tapping into our Culture Quickie, the first one.
Yeah.
Bye.